right? Just go away. Just hate it. Remember, I bet. Hey, did you just grab me, miss? You just grabbed me? Huh? Huh? Funny. Funny. Don't you dare grab me. You gotta go outside. Outside. After I make this phone call. Proud of me.
Right here, where she just went out. She just wants up.
Hey, Dayla.
Hey, Myra, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And then we have a few people that have already popped on. I'm sure we'll have more here in a couple minutes.
Hey. I'm
I just-
actually in Northern Kentucky today.
Oh, you are? Well, you could have just came right on up here.
I know, I could have.
So I actually just finished FSO,
Oh, when's the next time they're doing that?
May.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind of had forgotten I had signed up for it because I was due. And I got the thing Sunday night and I was like, oh boy, that changes my week.
It does. It changes everything, doesn't it?
It does. Congratulations on your month last month in Northern Kentucky.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we got another good one this month.
Awesome.
Girl, we
I
just
know.
making it happen. We got to
we
keep it going, right?
Yep, us too. We love this great market.
I know it. You guys are killing it. It's exciting.
It is.
I know our agents are, worn out writing
They
offers.
are.
But hey, they're learning really. I mean, I keep telling everybody, here's the thing. We got to look at the good side. We're all getting better at doing contracts.
Well, that's true. That is true. How are we doing on time? I'm going to go after you get started, I'm going to run in my training room and set this up. One of my big teams was having a meeting in there. So I'm going to put it on in there too, because there's some people in the office that may pop in. So if you see me disappear, you'll know why.
Okay.
So how's everybody else on here today?
Doing great.
Good.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, same to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
Now, do you guys have your green on? I can't pinch you through the computer.
I don't have green on today.
Myra, I don't see your green either. Oh, I've got some. Hang on just a second. I just put it down. I got it. Here it is. Here it comes.
Oh, that's good green.
Yeah, I'm just gonna attach this because I did forget today. And I like anybody comes in and wants to pinch me, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I got my money. I gave Nick $1 bill. I got the 20, he got the dollar.
Nice.
Okay, come say hi to Dayla.
Where is she?
Where is she? Hi, I'm in the little box on her desk.
know.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
$1 bill and kept the 20
See, look,
Yeah.
right here.
Nice, nice.
$1. Yeah,
Good
you
to
know.
see you, Dayla.
Good to see you. I think I'm gonna pop into the training room and turn
Do you
things
want
on.
to introduce me from the training room or you want me to just start? It doesn't matter to me.
You know what? I was gonna say, we're right at 2. Let's give it another minute if you're
Yeah,
okay
give
with
them some
that.
time.
And then
Yeah.
I'll introduce you from there. So
Okay, sounds good.
I'll take my laptop with me. So I won't lose connection, but I just wanted y'all to know what I was doing.
Okay. Walking. Well, grab some people while you're walking.
All right. All right. Hey, guys.
Uh-huh.
I'll have this on in just a jiffy.
Yeah, well, like we did that here. Enjoy your trip. Oh, I will. I will. Yeah, yeah, but we're right across the street, so we're right off of Center Village, but. I don't know.
You gonna build up there, or?
Yeah, we're gonna go with, working with Dion.
Okay, wow, you're gonna do it up?
Yeah, but we went from, we were just gonna build a little, open barn kind of concept, and have, ranch, no basement, now we're into it. Almost 15,000 square foot house, basement.
Yeah. So, why, it's fun, but I think
All right, you know what, Myra, I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to go ahead and introduce you and we'll get started.
Sounds good.
So it's a great privilege for me today. You know, we've been doing this wealth building series once a month. And I was thinking about different guest speakers we wanted to have on the docket for it. And Myra was one of the first people that came to mind. And Myra has done a lot of different things. I'm not going to steal her thunder, but she's not only from the real estate world, she's from the KW world. And so I think she's got a lot of great things that will relate to what we do and will help you find financial freedom and so forth. So Myra, I'm just going to turn it right over to you.
Thank you, Dayla. I really appreciate it. So y'all, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
We're good? Okay, great. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. And yes, I am in the KW world. I'm an OP in Northern Kentucky. I used to be your regional director and for Ohio Valley. And so that's how I got to know Dayla. I did that for 4.5 years. And I'm from Kentucky, so I landed here in Kentucky with as an OP of this office here in Kentucky. So it's exciting. We're in Florence, Kentucky, and of course, y'all know the market is just crazy right now, which is exciting for all of us. And what I'm here to talk to you today about is how you can build passive income streams and have financial freedom. You know, the great thing about being in the real estate business is that nobody tells us what we're worth. We have the ability to make more money. I was in the hair business. My first career, I owned a hair salon, and my husband was a policeman. And unfortunately, we were told what we were worth, because the police department kind of regulated what my husband was going to make, and I could only do so many haircuts. And what I found is it's truly not about how much money you make; it's about how much money you keep. And are you building other passive income streams? And so anyway, if you're ready, we're ready to get started. So, and at any point, if you have a question, raise your hand. I'm gonna take. I will need Dayla or someone to let me know. We can answer questions at the end of this. But if you have a question on anything in particular, just raise your hand or put something in the comments for me. Okay, y'all ready?
We're ready.
Let's get started. Okay, imagine being able to live with homes. Imagine being able to spend as much time as you want with the people you love. Doing the things that give you joy and satisfaction. Does this sound like something that you would enjoy? Imagine living completely debt-free. You can. Today we will address what might be holding you back. So buckle up.
This is good stuff.
All
We'll
right.
have it sound here in just a second.
You good, Dayla?
Last year had a really cool.
Hey, Dayla, will you mute?
Uh-huh. She's got a.
Hey, Dayla.
Yeah, we're good, Myra. Yeah, we're good, Myra.
Okay, we good? Okay, you might want to mute. Okay, we're ready. Okay.
Margaret.
Where you are today is a result of what you did 5 to 10 years ago. Where you're going to be in 5 to 10 years is a result of what you do today. Financial freedom is for everyone. It is simple, but it's not easy. So what we're going to show you today is how, instead of you working for your money, turn your money into working for you. All right, our world is so full of consumerism. We're trying to keep up with the Joneses, or actually that was my generation. Now we're trying to keep up with the Kardashians. And unfortunately, they have some real expensive behaviors. So I'm just here today to show you how you can get control of your finances. So you must take control of your future and your money instead of it controlling you. So what I find is, as real estate agents, and we've all, we've been there, where consumerism kind of creeps up on you. What you find is a lot of times is that, we feel like we got to have a super nice car, right? Because we're selling real estate and people are watching us.
Are you at all able to do?
If everybody can mute, that would be great. All right, so we're finding that, we always feel like we have to keep up because we're trying to have an impression. We want people to have a great impression of us. But sometimes these behaviors are costing us our freedom for the future. So I just want you to release whatever's holding you back today, because this is the first day of your life and you got this. I'm going to share with you some strategies towards financial freedom and for your future self. Okay, here we go. 10 strategies for living your best life. Living in freedom every day. So the thing about selling real estate is that we work our butts off. I mean, we work hard. And right now, we're having to show a lot more houses. We're having to write a lot more offers. And so it's so important that you do good things with your money and not blow your money, so that in the future, you get to work because you want to work, not because you have to work. Strategy number 1. Change your mind, change your life. When I got my mind under control and figured out what it is I really wanted, what was my big why? Why am I working as hard as I'm working? And what is what is my purpose? And when you figure that out and you really work on your mind and you know what you want, it will blow you away how things start happening and you are now in control of what your future is and what you're going to do with your future. Strategy number 2, you have to know where you are in order to know where you are going and how to get there. So here's the deal. If you don't know what your net worth is,
I start keeping a stash of vodka here.
Pamela, you're not muted.
am I muted or am I okay?
There, you're good, Myra.
Okay, because it came on my screen, so you're muted. Okay. All right. So with strategy 2, you've got to know your net worth. Because if you don't know what you've been working for all these years, how can you determine why you're going to keep working for your future? I think it's so important to just take the time to figure out your net worth. And I'm going to make that easy for you today and show you what I have that will make it easier for you. This is a net worth sheet. And you can go to my website, Down Home Money, and go to Money Tools, and you can download this. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. I do everything simple. I'm a firm believer if you keep it simple, people will duplicate. So this is your assets are on one side. So here's what a net worth sheet provides you and the information. Your assets are on one side, and then you're going to list the value. So your home, what is it worth today? If you put your house on the market today, what would it be worth? Your vehicle. Okay, not what you paid for your vehicle, because even though a vehicle is an asset, it's a depreciating asset. And it's probably worth less now than it was worth before. So it's really important that you put the blue book value of it today. And then you're going to list your cash, your savings accounts, checking accounts, CDs. If you have a retirement plan, maybe this is your second career and you have a 401k from a previous career. All of those things need to be listed here. And these are your assets and your home furnishings. If you rolled them all out in your driveway today to sell everything, what would they be worth? It's not what you paid for them. It's what they're worth garage sale, right? So figure that up. And then that is your assets. And you tally that up and then you have a value. Then we're going to go to liabilities. And your liabilities are your mortgage, any debt, your car loan, your credit card debt, if you have a student loan, your personal loans, maybe you owe your brother money, he loaned you money, whatever those items are that you have liability, you owe money for, you're going to put those totals on there and you're going to tally that up. So to reach your net worth, it is assets minus liabilities equal your net worth. Now, if you're in your 30s, 20s, 30s, that number is probably going to be negative. And don't get discouraged because, student loan debt and you're starting out and you're getting debt when you start out. But if you're in your 40s and 50s, we really need to be working on our net worth. And we really need to be focused on a positive net worth, because seriously, if you've been working 20, 30 years and you have a negative number, you're not really making any headway on your future, far as your future retirement, right? Because if you've got a lot of debt, then you have to work. You don't work because you want to work. You're working because you have to pay the bills, correct? So that's why it's so important to do this net worth calculator, because it will help you realize exactly where you are. Strategy number 3. I know everybody hates this word, and it's budget. And none of us want to be on a budget, but a budget changed my life. So I got real purposeful when I was in my 20s. I put myself through school to do hair, and I bought a hair salon. My dad gave me a loan, and then my dad got really sick and my dad passed away. And when my dad passed away, I went into a lot of debt because I was going back and forth to Kentucky to visit my father and take care of him. And so I was missing cutting hair on the weekends because I was going to Kentucky to give my mom a break. And I did that for about 6 months, and I got myself in a world of hurt as far as debt. And I learned real quickly that I had to get out of debt or I was going to be a prisoner to my chair, my hair in my hair salon. I was going to be cutting hair my whole life. And I got really purposeful and I put myself on a budget. And in order to be on a budget, you've got to realize that you've got to spend less money. And on that budget needs to be, you need to have a line item for your retirement. It's crucial, you guys. We're all self-employed. And if you don't plan your future, nobody else is going to do it for you. And I will tell you, you have a great opportunity on a SEP plan, a simplified employer pension. And we're going to talk about that a little later. And it needs to be part of your budget so that you are taking care of your future. So I'm going to show you, I do have a copy of the budget. Wait a minute. Whoop, hang on. We got to go back here. Sorry. Here's the budget. Again, you can go to Down Home Money, my website, and you can go to Money Tools. And again, this is a simplified budget. Just download it and then put all your stuff in here. This woke me up. I mean, I got to where I put everything on my budget, and it really made me realize that I had more expenses than I had month of income. And then I got real purposeful about my money, because if you don't control your money, trust me, consumerism will control your money. It's just been proven. 75% of our population are living paycheck to paycheck. In our world, it's commission check to commission check. And if you ran an office, you'd really realize that, because a lot of times, we have people doing e-commissions, getting their money before they've even closed on properties. I mean, you've got people are struggling. And how we prevent that for our families is that we get real purposeful with our money. And we know where our money's going. That is crucial for financial freedom and financial independence. So this is for you guys. So be sure and go to it. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can go straight to the Money Tools and download this and get started. All right. So you're going to need an emergency fund. It's crucial. And that's one of your first things you're going to start. So this is strategy 4. So now we're going to set up our emergency fund. And you need to start, if you don't have an emergency fund right now, start with 1 month of expenses. That's where you can just get started. You just got to take the leap of faith to get started. If you can save $20 this week, put it in an emergency fund, open you up a money market account, and where you get a little bit of interest. You're not going to get much right now, but at least you have started that emergency fund. The emergency fund is crucial. So if you start it, you will have, we all have had issues where AC goes out, and that's a very expensive fix, or your water heater goes out, or your car breaks down. And if you have an emergency fund, it really does relieve the stress of the what could happen, right? And it's important. The goal is you want to get 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. And then once you've done that, you move to the other strategies as far as funding the retirement account. All right. Any questions so far? No questions on budget or questions on emergency fund? Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to give you the reason why this is so important today, and I'm so proud of you for spending an hour on working on you and your finances. Most people just go make money and never learn about money. And so here it tells you why emergency savings are so important. Most Americans have emergency savings. We ask, how much have you stashed away? 6 months, only 31%. 3 to 5 months, 17%. Less than 3 months, 20%, none, 24%, and other is 7%, which could mean more and could mean even, well, I don't think you can get any less than none there. So there you go. But I think it's so important that we realize that we're in control of our money, and it's the decisions you make today that are going to give you the future you're going to have tomorrow. Look at this. Americans that regret not saving for retirement. So we asked adults what has been their biggest financial mistake, and it was not saving enough for retirement was 22%, and not saving for emergency funds, which is 16%, and taking too much credit card debt on, look at that, 9%. Taking on too much student loan debt. There are a lot of people that have huge student loans, and I find it hard to believe that our government's going to take on that. But I know that was some of the promises that were made. I think that, we've taken out a lot in student loan debt, and a lot of people aren't working. I know I have several nieces and nephews that are not working in their college education. So it's interesting. Not saving enough for children's education, 8%. Buying more house than they could afford, 2%. And then something else is 7%. And then none was 20%. That came from bank rate. So strategy number 5 is about profit and loss statements. And it's so important as real estate agents that we are doing profit and loss statements, because a lot of us are super high and we're so busy just being in our business because we love people that we aren't great business owners. And in order for you to change the trajectory of your business, you've got to get real purposeful with your money. If you don't know where your money's going, then somebody else is spending it. And we're guilty and buying a lot of stuff and they go, oh, I'm gonna try this CMA. Oh, I'm gonna try this lead generation product. And you guys, we gotta get real purposeful with our money and pay yourself first. But if you don't know where your money's going, you can't even pay yourself first. So that's why a profit and loss statement is so important. It is crucial for your business. And so we want to make sure you're doing one. Now, a lot of people say to me, I don't know where to get started. I will send this to Dayla, because if you don't have a simplified profit and loss statement, I do these on every business I own. I will send this to Dayla. If you want it, get with Dayla. She can get it to you, because here's the deal. The best form to use is the one that you'll use. What I found is that, like, I had a lady talk to me about QuickBooks and she just was so overwhelmed. And I said, if I could give you a 1-page Excel spreadsheet, would you put your expenses in there every month so that when you go to your accountant, you can just print it off in December. It tallies everything for you. Would you do that? It rocked her world. And I'm sure her accountant wanted to send me flowers, because when we're taking all these,
Well, great. So
we're just throwing everything. Can we mute everybody, please?
Great. Okay, well, thank you very much for the information. I will let her know. And
You're not muted.
No, it's Ann.
Is it Ann?
Thank you. Thank you. If everybody will just mute, it sure does help, because I can't see you or anything. So anyway, it makes a huge difference, because now you know what you're spending on accounting. Now you know what you paid your board dues. Now you know your auto expenses. Now you know your office bill, your office expenses. So now you can see where you can get purposeful to reduce cost. Because listen, there's 2 ways to financial freedom. 1, you reduce your costs. 2, you make more money. That's it. So we got to start somewhere. And I have a lot of people that say to me, you know what, right now I'm topped out. I'm not going to be able to make any more money, especially when they're in jobs like a fireman or a teacher or a policeman. So we have to start first with their expenses. And as real estate agents, we always, because we know we can always make more money, that we tend to sometimes spend more money because we know, I can make more money. But when you get your expenses under control, your world will get really big, because here's the deal. We're all working to take more money home to our families. And that's why it's important, because then you're going to take more money instead of spending it on useless tools that aren't working, that you're not using. You're now taking that money home to your family, and that's important. So I'll get this to Dayla. If you'll notice at the bottom of this form, it also has the commissions, and it has your company dollar, what you've paid in, so that you can have all of this in one document. I think you're going to love it, and I'll get that to her. Okay, strategy number 6. All right, are you ready? You need to track every penny. So what I found when I started tracking my money, and you guys, I will tell you, I am not a financial planner. What I am, I'm somebody that's done all this. And I think that's more important. And that's why I wrote a book, because I keep everything super simple because I've done it. I reached millionaire status by the age 33 as a hairstylist, and my husband was a policeman. And I don't share that. I'm not trying to impress you. I want to impress upon you. I was limited in my income. And yes, now I'm not limited in my income, but I was limited when I did all these things. And I've continued these habits. And I bought rental property to throw me off a passive income. And I was able to retire at the age of 33. My husband quit the police department and I sold my hair salon, and we had 10 properties throwing off 5,000 a month. And I was able to retire because of that. And that's why I want to share this with you, because these strategies are simple. They're not easy. You're going to have to take action. And you can't keep complaining about if things aren't going well or if money's tight, you got to make some changes. In order for things to change, we've got to make changes. So on strategy 6, you've got to track it. You can track it on your cell phone, or for me, I had a little black book and I wrote down every expense. I wrote down everything I spent to the penny. Like if I got a gumball out of a gumball machine and I spent a quarter, I would write down a quarter. You're going to be shocked to how much money you're wasting, especially if you're going to Starbucks every day. Because I'm going to share with you, you're wasting money on stuff that you really don't need, that you could use that money and throw it into maybe some dividend stocks to throw you off a monthly dividend. So we're going to share that. So that's strategy 6, is track every penny. Okay. This is a big one, and I hope that you are doing this currently, because maxing out your retirement account can be a game changer. And I'm going to share why. I opened my retirement account because as a hairstylist, I was self-employed also. So I started my SEP plan in 1998. And at the time, I could afford $100 a month. And so I gave $100 a month and we put it in index funds. So let me share what that is. An index fund, like I use Vanguard Index Fund. It's VTSAX is the ticker. It is the total stock market index fund. So when I put my $100 in, I was buying a little piece of Amazon, a little piece of T-Mobile, AT&T, all the different companies, Exxon. You're buying a little bit of all of it. It's the total stock market. So you're getting 3,640 stocks in one price of a share. And so I did that consistently every single month. The more money I made, as I got making more money, and then once I got into real estate, I started making more money later on in life, and I started doing more, because you can do your SEP is based on your income. You're not limited to a $6,000 or $7,000 contribution yearly. It can be up to $57,000. So that's incredible. It's a huge write-off. Every real estate agent, it's a straight write-off. And it's money before it's taxed. When you go to withdraw it later, it'll be taxed. So that's one thing. With me, I did that consistently, you guys, monthly. And in 1998, I started it. By 2009, I had over $160,000 in the account from doing monthly contributions. But y'all wait. By 2019, I hope you're ready for this. By 2019, that account had over $1 million. And you say, how can that happen? Well, how that happens is through compound interest. So those index funds are paying dividends every quarter. And as you're putting in monthly more money and the dividends are paying, it is compounding. And that is how wealth is built. And that is what happens through years, and it will work for you. And so you've got to do this one thing. If you don't do anything else that I share with you today, do this. Open you up a Vanguard account. They have the lowest fees, because here's the deal. If you're going to a wealth manager, they're making money off of you, and they're making trades inside your account. Warren Buffett, who's brilliant, He's the smartest. He's done it well. He says, put it in and let it ride and you will become wealthy. And it happened to me. So I'm sharing this with you because a lot of people, we want to get fancy. That's how we are. I want to be able to tell you I've got a financial advisor and a wealth manager. And what they do is they make money for trading your money inside your account. And nobody, including Warren Buffett, has been able to win the stock market. The stock market has been proven. You'll have a 9% return on your money. It's had 9% for the last 30 years, which is like a 7% when you include the 2% for inflation. So you guys, I mean, if you take nothing else, go open your Vanguard account. If you need to get somebody on the phone to open it, they will get on the phone, walk you through it, and open your SEP plan and start making monthly contributions. Do it to a Vanguard 500 index fund or to the total stock market index fund, and you will be a winner, I promise. And you'll look back and you go, I sure want to thank that Myra Oliver for getting me to do this. I remember being on that Zoom call. Thank you, Dayla, for bringing her to our event and sharing that one little strategy. Here you go. This will give you an idea. This chart will show you why investing is key to retiring on your own terms. Honestly, if you'll do this one tip and you don't do anything else, you don't ever buy a rental property, you don't do anything else, it will work for you. This assumes a 7% annual rate of return based on the long-term average stock market return of 9%, less an average inflation of 2%. Look at this, you guys. Just skipping Starbucks coffee. It's pretty incredible when you look at this. Just skipping Starbucks coffee. Look at this. You get over 800,000. The power of investing is to turn seemingly insignificant amounts into massive sums of money. I know you think that $5 latte every day is not affecting your financial future, but it is. If you take that $100 from that latte that you spend every month, let's say, $5 a day, 5 days a week, that's $100 a month. And look what you can do with it, you guys. And then this is doing 7 days a week, and look what happens. But I'm just sharing with you how you're spending your money and what can happen. Look at this. In 5 years, you've got $11,000. And if you kept investing $5 a day for 50 years, you'd have over 800,000. But it can be done faster. I shared with you how I did it faster. Look at this, investing $5 a day. This just shows you what compounding does. And that's what I'm really sharing today. I'm sharing with you, if you invest your money in dividend investments and index funds is of the full stock market, then you don't have to be an expert. Here's the thing. Everybody's like, well, I don't know anything about the stock market. Well, you know what? I didn't know anything about the stock market. I had a gentleman who I cut his hair and he told me, you will be a millionaire someday if you will do this. And he was very wealthy. And so I took his advice. I'm so grateful for that today. But when you look at these numbers, it just shows you compounding and what can happen. What if you took your home chef skills one step further? Because we all love to eat out, and eating out has gotten super expensive. So an investor who puts $15 a day into the stock market could grow their portfolio to more than 1.2 million in 40 years. If you just keep investing $15 a day for 50 years, you can amass 2.5 million. And this is why it's so important to start this at a young age. So if you're in your 20s and 30s and even 40s, get started. I don't care if you're in your 50s and 60s, you need to start. When we're going to be more aggressive, I have a YouTube channel that talks nothing but about money. I do talk about real estate investments because I have a rental portfolio of about 30 properties, but I talk about rentals. I talk about, because that's a great income stream, but I'm going to tell you, it's not passive. And dividend investing is passive, and I'm building a dividend portfolio. So go check out my YouTube channel at Down Home Money if you're interested in this stuff, and you can get a lot more details than I can give you today on 1 hour of a Zoom call. But it's amazing what can happen investing in dividends and the compounding of it too. And I just did a video. I do videos every Tuesday. So catch that video, and I shared what I'm now making monthly on dividends. But look at this, investing $15 a day, how fast this grows. It's pretty incredible. You know, it's interesting that we'll all have a car payment. We all have a house payment. We'll pay to go to college, to have a future, right? But we don't pay ourselves. That's what this is about. You're spending all that time working. Do something for yourself on your budget. Get a line item to pay for your financial future. That's what you need to do. I mean, we're working so hard, and then a lot of times we run out of paycheck before we run out of month and run out of expenses. And again, there's two ways to financial freedom. You reduce your expenses or you make more money. Maybe you need to get a side hustle. I mean, so that you can fund this $15 a day and this way of building your financial future. So this just shows you the impact. I think it's so important. And depending on what your age is, look at the difference this can make. Just investing $200 a month. Everybody can find $200 a month. Eat out less, drink less coffee, maybe do your hair at home. Maybe, you know, I mean, there's lots of ways, you guys. I didn't say this was easy. I said it's simple, but I want to tell you the rewards are incredible. If you start at 25, look what happens to him. He only contributed $96,000. This slide is to show you the effects of compounding. This gentleman contributed $96,000, but he has over 550. Look at this, the 35-year-old, 3540 at 200 a month. At 35, they contributed 72,000 and they've got over 250. And you can tell as you get older, it gets, you are contributing less, but you're also making less because you didn't have the years of compounding. If you have children, if you have a child 18 years old, the best gift you can give them for graduation is opening them up a Roth. Opening them up a Roth and putting in $100 and teaching them to do $50 a month, $25. If they do that, by the time they're 40, they'll be a millionaire. Did you realize that? Change their life on the front end. Don't let them get caught up in consumerism. There's so many things you can do. And if you've got young children, you guys, we don't teach this stuff. We don't teach this stuff in school. I'm going to tell you, I started all this because I've got 5 nieces and nephews. I have no children, and they're going to inherit everything my husband and I have built. And I want to teach them on the front end because second generation wealth, they blow through the money. You've heard about lottery winners. They blow through the money. And I worked too hard and saved. I didn't go to the restaurants and I saved my money, and I want them to understand money and the power of money. Money does not give you happiness. Money gives you options. And it's the choices we make that put us in the position, financial positions we're in. So if you're in a position where you're not happy where you're at, then it's up to you to make the changes. And it's easy. It really is simple to change the way you're thinking. And then it'll start, financial freedom will start showing up. I coach a lot of people and I share these tips and I get to watch them get out of debt. I get to watch them pay off their credit cards. It's exciting watching people change the way they think about money, and money can give them great options for their future. Again, it doesn't give you happiness. I know a lot of miserable, wealthy people. So buying more stuff will not make you happy. It gives you a little satisfaction there for the moment. But let me tell you, financial freedom and being able to work because you want to work, there's true happiness. So here's another one for you, saved for retirement. 33% have no retirement savings. 23% have less than 10,000. 10% have 10,000 to 49,000, 8% 50 to 99, 8% have 100 to 199,000, 5% have 200 to 299, and only 13% have 300 or more. And that's why I teach this, and it's a passion project for me. I'm determined to help people see their money differently. I think everybody feels like that you've got to have a ton of money to save your money and to retire. And that's just not the case. If you will really get your money making you money early on, it's amazing what can happen. All right, now this one is big, it's huge.
Hey, Myra.
Strategy 8.
Hey, Myra, there's a question for you in the chat.
Oh, okay, yes.
At what point would you go from, say, $100 a month to more?
As soon as you get some of your debt paid off, if you've got a lot of credit card debt, and I'm going to hit this right now, your credit card's debt is eating all your profit from your dividend investing. You need the credit card debt is killing us. And so let me share this. If you are sitting here right now and you are burdening credit card, I have been where you are. And I want to tell you something that you need to block out an hour in your calendar this week. You need to call your credit card company, and here is your script. Listen, I'm struggling paying my bills right now, and I need you to help me however you can help me. My interest rate is 20%. I know I owe you money. I cannot pay it, and my family is going to eat, and I'm going to pay my house payment first. I want to pay you. And if you can help me lower the payment for the next 6 months or so and give me a reduction on the interest rate, I will continue paying you. Can you help me? And you guys, I promise you, I've been helping my wealth clients, and we are getting their credit cards from 20 to 18, for 18 to 20%. We're getting them down to 10 and 12%, which is huge because that interest rate is eating you alive. You're never going to get them paid off if you're just paying the minimum payment. You're digging a hole deeper. You're getting deeper and deeper in debt. And I just want you to know that that is crucial. And they are willing and dealing. Now, if the first person you talk to says, no, I can't help you, then you need to say, I need to talk to your supervisor. And you need to have humility in doing this. You don't need to be bossy. You just need to let them know that you are struggling. And trust me, if you've got a ton of credit card debt, whether you think you're struggling or not, you are struggling. If you are paying 20%, 18%, and you're not paying it off every month, you are struggling, and that is holding you back from reaching financial freedom. There is good debt and there's bad debt, and your credit card is bad debt. So absolutely, that is the first thing. Once you are working towards, like you're going to do a plan towards paying your debt off, and that goes in with your budget. And so, but the extra money you have absolutely needs to be, for me, I don't go buy clothes and stuff. I'm not a stuff person. I'm pretty much becoming a minimalist. Stuff doesn't give me thrills. I drive a 6-year-old car. I don't live in my money. I don't drive my money, and I don't wear my money. My money makes me money. And so it secures my future. And so when I get extra money, I go buy more dividend stocks. It's a game for me. I love it. And you'll find that when you start watching my YouTube channel, and you'll get a lot more information. If you're interested in this, you'll get a lot more tips and information on that. But debt is killing you. And so strategy 8 is to work on credit card debt. It's the first debt you get paid off. And then you start working it on the next highest interest rates. But you guys, you can negotiate credit card debt right now. A lot of people aren't doing it because they don't think they'll do it. And then when the company says no, they think that they can't get them to do it. I have a client that has a regular job. So she's a W-2 employee. I've been coaching her for probably 3 or 4 years now. And so she had, I want to say it was 16 credit cards when we started. She was living off her credit cards. And there's a lot of people doing this, you guys. A lot of our population, because they just don't make enough money because inflation, they cannot keep up with inflation. Their salaries are not rising. We're different as real estate agents. We have such opportunity because we can go sell another house. They cannot. And so anyway, we've been working on our credit card debt, and we got at least 8 of them renegotiated. Some you cannot. I talked to 5 supervisors. I mean, I kept going through people and couldn't on some of them, but we got the majority of them, and it made a huge difference so she can get them paid off. She's now down to, I think we're down to about 9 or 10 credit cards now. But that's huge because she was just digging a bigger hole. She was so burdened by debt, she couldn't even focus. Honestly, it steals you of a happy life. Honestly, you have no joy in your life when you have that much debt. Because you can never get ahead. So just know that, and know that you are not a minority. Matter of fact, I'm finding it's the majority of people are living especially if they have a W-2 job and they are, say, 50,000 or below. they are living on credit cards, especially right now in the economy we're living in. So it's just something that we got to work on. Any other questions? Because I can't see it because I'm looking at my, any other questions, Mick?
No, there's no others in the chat.
Perfect. Okay. So we're going to go on to strategy 8. Okay. Look at this. This is why I share this with you. Look at what the average credit card balance, $6,194 as of 2019. Total in the United States, you guys, and I know this number's been up. They have not reported the numbers since COVID. Can you imagine, because of all the people being out of work? At one point, we were at 16% of the population in March of 2020 were out of work. We're now down to 6.3%, which we got to get it back to about 3 to 4%. So I can only imagine what the numbers are now. So Americans are collectively using 23% of their available credit line and 511 million credit cards. 61% of American consumers have at least one credit card, and the average is 4. So the average credit card debt in the U.S., I mean, according to Experian, is $61.94 as of the second quarter of 2019. I can't wait to get some updated data. But you guys, that it's killing us because we don't like delayed gratification. You know why 8 out of 10 new licensees in real estate don't make it? Because they don't like delayed gratification. If you're successful in real estate, you understood on the front end that you had to learn everything and then build your database, and it took you longer to get going in real estate, right? I didn't sell my first house to after 1 year. I rented a ton of houses, put them in a database, started selling houses. Then I ended up in 2010, I sold 100 houses in 1 year by myself, but did not sell a single house my first year in real estate. But if I would have quit, like most people quit, because we don't like delayed gratification, especially our younger generation, do not, because they were raised with computers and then have everything right now. And so that's why 8 out of 10 realtors don't make it. And so we're the same way about stuff and about a bigger house and about a newer car. That we've just got to stop the consumerism so that we can control our financial future. It's really important. And I hate to preach, but I mean, I'm preaching. I'm hoping some of y'all are standing up in the aisles giving me a yeah, because it's important. It really is. And we don't talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. All right. I hope at this stage, strategy 9, you're deciding, are you going to take the wealth path or are you going to take the debt path? Because you're at the crossroads and you've got to decide which way you want to go. I'm going to tell you that true freedom comes from being debt free. I have no debt. And I'm going to just tell you, freedom comes when you become debt free. And we all have control of our debt. Remember, you have to sign. Okay? So you can't blame anybody else. This is a time to not be a victim and decide, okay, I'm going to live in abundance and I'm going to choose that I'm going to build wealth. And I'm not going to go in the debt route because I'm going to tell you it's not very promising. Did you know? This is one way. If you're sitting here today on this call and you're struggling, here's one way you can change your trajectory right now without making any more money or reducing any cost. If you make your mortgage payment bi-monthly instead of monthly, you can knock off 4 years and 10 months of interest on a 30-year note. Since there's 26 biweekly periods, paying biweekly means you will make one extra payment per year and you're not changing anything you're doing. You got to get with your lender and make sure you have to start ahead of time. If your payment's due on the 1st, then you'd make your first 2 weeks on the 1st and the second would be on the 15th. You got to figure that out. And you're not changing anything. Okay. You're still making the same payment, but you just saved 4 years and 10 months of interest without making more money. I mean, there are little strategies and tips that you can do that can change your world. 1, stop the coffee habit. 2, make monthly, bi-weekly. And 3, just look in your house and start to declutter. And we're going to talk about that. That's another thing of getting rid of some stuff to produce you some money to start your investment strategy. Because some people say to me, I don't have any extra money. Oh, you do. It's sitting all over your house. Go out in your garage. It's sitting everywhere. You've got stuff that you can get rid of and sell, and that's somebody else's treasure, but it can start your retirement account. You got to have a wealth mindset. It all starts right here. It truly does. Do you have abundance mindset? Or are you in scarcity? Scarcity, you're going to find every excuse not to do what we talked about today. If you're living in abundance and you truly want to change your financial future, you'll take some of these strategies and implement. I'm going to give you my phone number because I'm serious. This is a passion project. I don't charge for this. My phone number is 940 594 6466. I keep everything in the strictest of confidence. If you truly want to change, I'm here for you because I'm on a mission. And I think we've got to get the word out that it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep and what you do with it. And are you buying assets to throw you off a passive income? I have a coaching client. I've been coaching her for probably, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years. And for her, we've gotten her debt under control, and now we're building her a passive income. And she's now on her dividends investments, making an extra $200 a month. And, yes, that's not life changing, but let me tell you what, that's today she's making 200 a month. If we keep doing this, next step is 500 a month. The next step is 1,000 a month. Then it's 2,000 a month. And we're going to get her to 36,000 a year so she can work because she wants to work, not because she has to work. We've put a strict plan in to do this, and we will have her there within 5 years. I mean, seriously, what's your plan today? Are you going to be selling real estate when you're 70, 80, 90? Because if you don't have a plan, the bills keep coming. And everything is going up. Inflation. Look at gas prices already. Look at home prices already. Look what's happening. And so it is worth your time to really get focused on this, you guys. You got to write down what you want. And then you've got to envision your future self and affirm your desire. Listen to your inner voice. And then you've got to take action. Nobody's going to do this for you. Okay, I'm going to just tell you. Nobody's going to do this for you. So you got to take action and transform. And you got to hold on to your dream. You got to remind yourself every day while you're doing this. I knew I wanted to become a millionaire. My goal was 30, but it took me to 33. And I had on my Myra in my bathroom, and I was working 14-hour days, cutting hair behind a chair. And my husband had side hustles, and we had all kinds of stuff going on. Saving every penny we made, buying another rent house. We get enough money for a down payment, we buy another house. And we knew what our plan was. We had a roadmap, and we didn't make it by 30. It took till 33, but I had on my Myra, millionaire by 30. And I looked at that every day. I'd be brushing my teeth, and there'd be days I didn't want to go to work. My legs were hurting from 14 hours I did. I'd get home at 10 o'clock at night and get back up at 6 a.m. and do it again. But I knew what I wanted. And so that's why I was able to retire at 33. And then I got bored 3 years later, got my real estate license, and y'all know the rest of the story. So, and just got off that treadmill a few years ago in 2018 when I resigned from the regional director job because I wanted to do this. I wanted to share this message. Freedom comes in 2 ways. Reduce your spending and expenses. That's one way. Or make more money. And making more money could be a side hustle. It could be going through the stuff in your house and put it on eBay. You guys, there are lots of side hustles. You could start a little Etsy shop. Maybe your passion is painting little whatever or doing something. There's so many other things to make money, and then allocate that money. I challenge all of y'all to go put one more property under contract and decide that this is your freedom money. I want to challenge you to this. That if you normally do 3 a month, let's do 4 next month. That one extra property, you weren't planning on that money. That one extra property, you use that for your freedom money and get your account started for your reserves, get it started, get your Vanguard account started, and let's move forward towards your future. Seriously, if you don't plan it, it's going to happen to you. I'm going to just tell you, somebody else is going to plan your money for you, what you're going to do with it. All right, this is strategy 10, and I know this may seem crazy to go with money, but I'm going to tell you that you got to get, in order to get your mind right, I would share with you that start an exercise plan, whether that be walking, yoga, or go to any of the other exercise places and start some fitness plan. But I will tell you, this rocked my world to control my stress. I started walking. I never worked out a day in my life. You can ask Mick Gordon how I did at Seal Fit. It about killed me. But because I have a strong mind, I was able to get through it because I had to keep telling myself, you got this, you got this. But I started a walking plan. I do 5 miles every morning, and it has changed my world because it's given me clarity on what I want. Because when you're so busy in real estate and we have 5 million things, and I mean, everything's hitting us, you really don't take the time to plan your future self. And that's what this is about. My walking 5 miles gives me an opportunity to plan my life and my future, and it gives me clarity. And that's what this is about. You got to get clarity. First of all, your mind has to be right to decide what it is you want. Once you know what it is you want, then we have to get a strategy together to build what you want, and then get a plan and put deadlines to the plan. You know, where you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in 10 years. You've got to make those decisions, but then we got to put work to it. We got to put the action to get the results to the plan. And then that's building some passive income streams and other income streams. It could be anything that you know you want to do. Maybe you want to start another business. Well, in order to do that, you've got to get good at this business. And you've got to get that profit and loss statement. You got to know where every penny you make goes. I have a girl that makes $50,000 a year, you guys, and you'll get a kick out of this. She makes $50,000 a year, and she saves about 23,000 of it a year because she keeps her expenses so low. I then have somebody that makes over $1 million a year selling real estate, and she spends $1 million too and has nothing. She's in debt. It's crazy. I share that story with you because if you make $1 million too, I mean, if you make $1 million and you spend $1 million too, you still got a 200,000 deficit. And that's what I find people do. They let lifestyle creep. They get lifestyle creep as they make more money, they spend more money. And that's not what this is about. This plan is about taking the money you make and getting strategic, and you tell your money where to go instead of your money telling you where to go. All right. Yes, you can, you guys. You can do this. This plan is simple. And I've given you my phone number. You can call me. I will walk you through because, like I said, and get sign up for my YouTube channel. That'll help you to see because I'm walking. I do financial freedom videos with this, and I'm walking people through it because you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. If you spend with a big time consumer that always has to have the latest, greatest, and they spend their money like crazy, you're going to find yourself doing the same things. And it's just really important that you spend time with people that are about saving. There's a community called the FIRE community, Financial Independent Retire Early. And this community have figured it out. They're retiring in their 30s because they started saving their money in their 20s. And that's what I'm sharing with you. Get started. So you just have to take the first steps. The sky's the limit and you have financial freedom. It's not easy, but it's simple. You deserve to work because you want to work, not because you have to work. This is my email address. It's downhomemoney@gmail. My website is downhomemoney.com. At Down Home Money on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I know Dayla's told you I wrote a book, Down Home Money, A Simple Approach to Financial Freedom. It's on Amazon. And in 2 weeks, it will be on, it'll be Audible, and I'm reading it. So whoop, whoop. All right, here's what freedom gives you. Freedom, F stands for free to be me. This is what freedom gives me. I challenge you to write this down for you. R is reinvention. E is enjoy the journey. E is elevate your future. D is design your life. O is opportunity of a lifetime. And M is money gives you options. And you get to do the choice. This is my book. I made it to a bestseller because of Keller Williams. Everybody would buy my book, and I just so appreciate it. And I just appreciate the opportunity. And I'll be glad to answer any questions whatsoever.
Myra, you did a great job of putting a lot of information that's super important into a very condensed version.
It's hard. It's a lot of information.
What
Yeah.
questions do you guys have? You can put them in the chat or unmute yourself.
There we go. Now I can see you. All right. Hey, Mick.
Hey, Myra.
Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. I'm really, this is a passion project, and I'm really, I just want people to understand that they can create their future. And I'm watching it happen, because I've got 4 years of doing this under my belt. And so I've got so many of my financial freedom clients that are winning at a really high level. Whether they're getting their houses paid off, they're getting their debt under control, and they're getting to work in careers that maybe doesn't pay as much as they were in a job that they hated, but they're now working in their passion because they now no longer work for money. They're working because they want to work, and it makes a difference.
Myra, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, well, it's right around 50% of my net worth is tied up in real estate. And as Patty and I have been investors since the early 90s. And I see a lot of flipping going on right now in this, going for that short-term gain. And I'm trying to advise people to hold on to some of these, as I've seen what it's done for us and what it's done for people like you and Jimmy and Linda. I don't know. I just can't get that across to people. What do you say to people when you see that?
Well, are they looking for a job? Are they looking for a future? Because I buy and hold. I will say this last year, I have sold some because I was so heavy in real estate. And so I have been doing some dividend investing with some of my proceeds, but I had a condo in Florida I bought in 2014. I paid 80 something thousand. I sold it for 189.9 recently. So I also had some apartments that I paid, I paid 362,000 in 2014. I just sold them for 895,000, and so I'm taking some of my profits, but I wasn't a big flipper because I wasn't looking for short-term money. I'm looking for long-term wealth. And so it depends. That would be my question to them. Are you looking for short-term money right now, or are you looking for long-term wealth? Because if you hold, and again, right now the prices are kind of high, so you got to depend on holding 8 to 10 years right now. And if you're going to hold them, then listen, you're going to double your money. I mean, everything I've sold this year, I've sold 8 properties, and everything I've sold, I've doubled or tripled my money, and I didn't hold any of them longer than 10 years. So yeah, I've got my first house. I still own it. This is funny. Just to tell you why you want to hold it. My first house, I paid $35,000 for it, and I've made over $300,000 in the last 30 years for rent. And it's now worth about probably $200,000 now because of this market. But it just tells you what buy and hold does for the future. I think some of the flippers are doing it for right now money. Now, if they're doing good things with their money, that's a whole nother conversation. But if they're buying stuff that doesn't throw them off another income, then, what are you doing with your money, right? Where are you going with it?
Thank you so much for doing this, Myra.
Absolutely. Anytime. I really appreciate the opportunity. So, my goal now is, is about being significant. I've had success. And when I sat in John Maxwell's presentation in 2016, and he said, success is great, but significance is where it's at. I'm going to tell you, I am living my best life now that I can make a difference.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed it. And I want to help people. And so I'm really sincere when I say, call me, email me your questions. I will help you in any way I can, because people help me get where I am today, and it's paying forward. I want to pay it forward.
I think a lot of us know these things, but we just don't take the time to implement. And I think we're meeting once a month and having some kind of a conversation around this to try to help people keep it at top of mind and to implement. Do you have any other suggestions on implementation?
Dayla, keep doing it, because I'm going to just tell you about money. You're not going to have a big crowd show up for your money stuff. Okay. I'm just going to warn you. All right. I can tell you this because money is so personal. And when people are struggling, they rather just put their head in the sand and keep moving forward working rather than talk about it. And so you keep talking about it and keeping it front of mind, because you see the people that showed up today. These are the people that really want to talk about it and and change their trajectory or learn more of what they can do to provide for a better future. Nick and I talk about it. He goes, I don't know why everybody's not on wealth building every week. We do it weekly here in Northern Kentucky. And I go, you know what? They'll show up when they're ready. When the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, people make changes. And money's hard, money is just a hard topic. And I had to learn that with my YouTube channel. I was getting frustrated, and I had to just learn that, you know what? Help the ones that come for your help and be okay with that. Because, if you help one person at a time, you make a difference. My YouTube has helped my nieces and nephews. They love it because they're all in their 20s. And so it has given me an outlet to help them. So, hey, it works. And I just want to make a difference. And I think that if I just keep talking about it, sometimes it may be 10 different, you may have 10 sessions, and on the 10 sessions, somebody goes, oh, I got it. I need to do a budget. Like light bulbs start going off. And then when they see, like, if you can just get them to do it and they start seeing the results, that is golden, right? When they see the results and they start watching their brokerage account go up every month, that's when they kick it. It's kind of like profit share for our offices. When people bring somebody and they bring them to Keller Williams, and then they see they get a check for profit share, they're like, I get it now, right? It's the same thing.
I asked my kids to be on this today and they couldn't because of their work schedule, but it's being recorded, so I'm letting you.
God, share it with them. Share it with them, because honestly, the younger generation, this is a game changer. And because they can invest 20, 30 years and never have to worry about working again and not change anything they're doing right now, right? Just put it on your budget, $100, $200, that compounding, because they have time on their side. For us, we don't have as much time on our side, so we got to invest more money. I have a video, and I'll send it to you so you can send it out when you send out the profit and loss statement. But I have a video that's Retire a Millionaire, and it will tell you based on your age exactly how much you need to put in Vanguard index funds.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet.
What other questions do people have?
Anybody else?
I have one, Myra.
Yeah. Hey, girl,
Okay.
how are you?
I'm doing great. And yourself? Okay, so you said you had gotten rid of some of your investment properties, especially that apartment complex. Did you take all of the proceeds out of that and invest it, or did you do a 1031 exchange and go get something else?
I did not do a 1031 exchange. My goal was to diversify. So I did not want to go into like properties as a 1031 exchange. And I knew we were probably going to get a new president when I sold it. And so I sold the apartments based on the tax rules for today. So I rather pay 23.8% than pay my tax bracket. So I went on and sold, and I took the hit, and I'm going to pay the taxes on it. And
Yeah.
I'm taking the money, and I did a dividend portfolio. And so what's really cool, so that property, that property was making me, and if you go to my video, I did video yesterday, and my quarterly dividends was 4,300 some change, something like that. Okay. A month right now. So I've taken about 400,000 and I have invested it in aristocrat stocks that have paid a dividend for 25 or more years. So they're relatively safe. They're not huge growth stocks. They're more safe dividend stocks, AT&T, PepsiCo, Kroger, Coca-Cola, 3M, some of those, Johnson & Johnson, and I'm investing in that. And so I've taken 400,000. So my 890,000 was making me $62.50 a month in rent. But remember, I had to pay taxes, and Texas is expensive real estate taxes. I had to pay taxes, insurance, and any expenses. So really, I was netting about 4,000 a month. So I've taken 890, I was making 4,000 a month. I've taken now $4,000 in truly passive, and I'm making 4,000 a month.
Okay, all right.
So I'm showing how I can take less money, put it in that, and it be passive. But I'm diversifying. I still have about 30 properties. So I'm diversifying. I'm going to keep my rental properties because they have built me unbelievable wealth. Because of their appreciation, right? And then having the depreciation on my taxes. So there's just so much to it. I think you need a little bit of everything, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you.
You bet. Yeah.
Hey, Myra,
Yes.
on the other half of this team, I'm Mark Sullivan.
Hey,
Hey,
how are
what
you?
kind of, give me a hoo-hoo.
Whoop, whoop.
There you go. What kind of financial tools do you use? I find that most of the people who are into the investment market
whether to buy. And they sometimes end up hurting themselves through the investment itself because they didn't understand the numbers going in. Are you using any tools?
I'm not.
Kind?
I use dividend.com. Have you heard of them?
What is it?
Dividend.com. So it's not a software, it's a company that does all the research for me. And so it gives me all the PE ratios. I see when they pay their dividends, the ex-dividend date. I'm checking special dividends, and I just run my companies. I basically pretty much put into only dividend aristocrats. That's who I invest my money in because they are proven. And then I have a few technology, you know, Apple is not a dividend aristocrat, but Apple for growth because their stock price has gone way up too, but it pays a little dividend. I like bigger dividends, and I like anything that trails the stock market. The average for a PE ratio is about 40, and all your tech stocks are way, way higher than that. They're not, the profitability is different, right? And when you look at the aristocrats, they're really good companies. Paying dividends, but they don't have the growth. Like they don't do the Tesla thing where they lose $40, $50 a day. You know, AT&T is my favorite. I have about 150,000 invested in AT&T. I make about 2,200 a quarter on AT&T. It's 52 cents a share. And the stock ranges anywhere from, I bought it on the low, a lot of it at $26 when the market collapsed in March of 2020. The lowest it hit was 26. The highest it's been is about 30. So, I mean, it's not huge gaps. Right now it's in 29. I didn't even check the market today, but it was at about 29 this morning. So it doesn't have these huge fluctuations, but it's been paying a dividend for 37 years. And so that's what I like. I like Johnson & Johnson, and the dividend it pays is 7%. AT&T is paying 7%. Well, your money in the bank is getting 0.15. I'm trying to get most of my money out of the bank. I have all my reserves from all my properties and my corporations, and I will keep that money in a money market. But the extra stuff, I'm investing it in dividend stocks. It's just a safer way. That's what, and I follow Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett just sold half of his Apple, and he took his profits and he's putting it, because he thinks there's going to be a crash, and he's putting it in Kroger, which Kroger has an 8 PE ratio, so profit per earnings. That's fantastic. It's a great stock, and it pays about 2% in your dividend. So I look for higher dividends. Johnson & Johnson, 3M, AT&T, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola all pay great dividends in the 2 to 3, 4 range. And so that's what I look for. Also, if you want to invest in real estate, I love Realty Income Corp. The ticker symbol is O. Check it out. It pays you monthly dividends, and it too is about a 4% dividend. So, you know, you want to keep it about 4% due to inflation is 2. So your money in the bank is moving backwards when it's getting 0.15 if you're letting it just sit there. So, I mean, I'm bobbing and weaving, to be honest. I'm learning every day.
Yeah, good.
You can watch my YouTube. If you watch YouTube every other week, I have on dividend investing, and then I have housing on the other week. And if you watch that, you can kind of see what I'm doing, because I show my portfolio. I mean, I'm so transparent because my goal is to help people. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm trying to impress. This is what happens when you do this much. And I show how many shares I have and what it makes me monthly.
Myra, do you have any suggestions for our real estate folks here, since you were a realtor yourself, as far as setting up an LLC, an S corp, paying themselves, any of that kind of stuff? Do you have any?
Yeah, it depends on y'all's laws. Your law allows you, we can't pay our agents in Texas. I have to be paid, when I get a commission, it has to be paid to Myra Oliver. And then I sign the check over to my corporation, and I run all the money to the corporation. So even though the company 1099s me, I have ran the money through my corporation. Always, I would say yes. Get you as a new agent, you can do an S corp. I love S corps, but I hold rental property now in LLCs. But when I started 30 years ago, we didn't have LLCs. It was all, and so a lot of my rentals are in S corps. but I like an S corp because the money runs through you. Same thing with LLC. And so I would just tell you that you want to run it because of the write-offs and for the protection. I mean, you never know when a renter is going to get hurt on a property. I mean, knock on wood, I have never had a lawsuit, so I've been lucky, but I've been in the rental business for over 30 years. So you just want to protect yourself. I love corporations just for the write-offs, and you need to study the different kinds. I have a C corp, I have LLCs, and I have S corp. So I have all of them right there, and I use them for different things. I run different businesses through different things. But when you're starting out, and I mean, in real estate, I mean, you may have to start first as your individual, but then I would move it. And rental property, sometimes you can't put your rental property if you have loans and the loans tied to your name. Some lenders do not let you put them in a corporation. So, or eventually, I mean, once you start building a little, you know, equity, and you can get them put in the corporation name, and then you just have to secure the loan. So.
Good.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
As a recommendation for commercial people or any residential people that want to invest in real estate, one of the tools that I use to help clients analyze properties, and I share with them when I teach class, it's called ROI Muse. ROI Muse, and it'll do
News, NEWS, ROI News.
ROIMUSE.
MUSC, okay, thank you.
And it was developed by a KW commercial agent who's an engineer, and it's a very comprehensive program. You can plug in your numbers and figure out your cash on cash, your cap rates, your rate of return, internal rates of return, and it's a very analytical program.
Wow.
It has BRRRR analysis, a rental analysis, fix and flip analysis, construction estimators, multifamily pro forma builders. Check it out. And it's because we're KW people and he's a KW commercial agent, it's $99 a year.
Wow, that's great. So
Most-
you'll get a kick out of this. Guess what my cap rate is on my building here in Northern Kentucky?
What?
Are you ready? 14.
Oh,
That's a good cap rate, isn't it?
yeah, that's a pretty good cap, right?
Yeah. So it's 14. I just met with a commercial guy here in Northern Kentucky today, and he was talking about that they still have cap rates of 9 and 10 here in Northern Kentucky. In Texas, we're down to 6 and 8. I mean, you're lucky if you can get an 8 cap. What's Columbus?
Yeah, yeah.
What's
Good money.
in Columbus? 6?
What's Columbus just asked?
What's that?
What's Columbus cap rate?
Average.
You're going to be between 6 and 8, and it depends on the the structure tenant of the building. Occupancy has driven cap rates up a little bit because of the negative occupancy, but some properties are good, some are bad. Most, on the average, I would say 7%.
Yeah.
But you got to work the numbers. You can't go off of the pro forma.
Yes. Well, I just appreciate you guys having me, and Dayla, I'd be glad to come back anytime. I'm here for you, girl. I appreciate you, and let me know anytime. I'll be glad to come back, and we'll do it again. And that's like Kelly Ann did. She goes like, "Oh gosh, I can't take it. We got to do it again," because then they all went out and promoted, and then we filled the full, because people, I think they have to hear it from their peers. That's not. This is just giving you information so you can make better decisions.
I know we had, I think, a total of about 13 people on here today, plus what was in here. So I think that we'll get that out there, and I probably will ask you to come back again.
I'll be glad to. I'd love to. And anybody, honestly, thank y'all for being here, because you know what? Time is finite and money is infinite. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And I just appreciate you being here with me today and sharing your time with me. So thank you. I appreciate it so much. And seriously, if you have any questions, call me. I'm here for you. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much, Myra. Great.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. Y'all keep killing it. I'm proud of y'all.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
You too.
All right. Have a great one. Thank you, everybody, for joining.